By now, I don't think there's anyone who doesn't know what Squarespace is. The company has an aggressive marketing strategy that includes ad placements across various online categories, from podcasts to YouTube videos. And it works. They have the name recognition and, most importantly, a good enough product. In general, Squarespace does a lot of things right, and I would easily recommend them to someone wanting a portfolio site or simply having a web presence for their company. Even though the service is good overall, it also has some glaring blind spots that make some of their product offerings unusable. So after more than 6 years of using Squarespace, I did the unthinkable. I switched to Wix, the service I thought I would never use. Let's talk about it. Before we go through the list of issues, let me first give you an idea of what I want to do with my website. I basically want to have one central place for everything, an area to showcase my work, a blog, a store to sell my digital products, and finally a membership area. At a first glance, Squarespace can do all of these things. They have several e-commerce plans, and the highest one offers membership areas. So far, so good. Now let's see where things fall apart. Once I decided what I want to do with my website, I upgraded to Squarespace's basic commerce plan. That's the one that costs 24 euros per month. It offers a shop area, has no processing fees, has advanced analytics, and also some other merchandising options. This plan doesn't have any membership options, but since I'm still working things out in that department, I decided that it's fine for now. I'll just use the basic plan and upgrade to the biggest one once I'm ready to enable memberships. So let's keep that number in mind, 24 euros per month. The Wix plan I ended up switching to was the Business Unlimited plan. It usually goes for 30 euros per month, but since they also market quite aggressively, there was a discount going on. So I ended up getting a 2-year plan for 15 euros per month. That's 9 euros per month less than Squarespace. And that includes everything, an eShop and a membership area. I know what you're thinking. You're comparing a discount offer to a regular priced product. But as you will soon find out, even without the discount, Wix is the better option. Not to mention that in all my years as a Squarespace customer, I never got an offer like the one from Wix. And Wix runs these quite regularly. Not only for new customers, but for existing ones too. But let's forget about the price for now, because there are some even more fundamental issues here. It turns out that if you want to sell digital products, Squarespace's e-commerce options are not good at all. And that's because of the file size limitations. Your products cannot exceed 300 megabytes. For this day and age, that is incredibly limiting. There's no way anyone can fit video tutorials in 300 megabytes, and the same applies to the other things I'm selling, 3D assets. My debris collection, for example, where I provide a Cinema 4D database and FBX files for those who don't have Cinema 4D, already weighs in at 900 megabytes. That's 3 times more than what Squarespace allows. There's even a thread in Squarespace's forum about this very issue, but I stumbled on this one after I bought the plan. This size limitation is not stated anywhere on the product comparison page. There's a help file on the support page, but as is the case with a forum post, you have to know about the issue before you go looking for an answer. Sure, 3D assets might be a niche category, but as you can see from the thread, I'm not the only one finding this restrictive. Musicians and digital artists are complaining about this very thing. They just can't fit their work in 300 megabytes. Unfortunately, there's no real answer from Squarespace's side, and they definitely had a lot of time to respond. The question that started the whole thread was posted in 2020. Wix, on the other hand, offers 1 gigabyte per digital product. It's still not a whole lot, but it's something you can work with. If at some point my business needs grow, I could explore other avenues like AWS, but for now, it's good enough. So with that in mind, Squarespace's e-commerce plans are incredibly expensive for what they offer. But it's not just e-commerce. Let me give you another example, video time. On Squarespace's e-commerce basic plan, I can upload 30 minutes of video. You would use that if you want users to stream a piece of video content from your website. And just to clarify, it's not 30 minutes per video, it's 30 minutes total. That is just insane. If you want more video time, you need to enable a members plan. That's the Patreon type of functionality. But of course, that costs extra. So for €8 more, we get 5 more hours. So in total, we have to pay €32 per month, 24 for the Commerce plan, and 8 for the members area, for 5.5 hours of total video time. And on top of that, Squarespace gets a cut. There's a 7% transaction fee for every member. Wix, on the other hand, gives you 10 hours of video time on the Business Unlimited plan. It's what they call video hours. So for €15 per month, that's half the price of what Squarespace is asking. You get 3 times more space for your digital products and double the amount of video hours. Even without the discount, Wix's plan is still better than Squarespace's. And then there's other things like abandoned cart recovery. This only comes with Squarespace's maximum commerce plan. That's €36 per month plus the €8 of the members area. And now we're at €42. With Wix, that's included in the €15 per month plan. As you can see, the price gap gets bigger and bigger the more features we add. But it's not just the pricing. On the back end, things are much better on Wix, and there are 2 things specifically that I like. The first one is the whole asset management system. For years on Squarespace, there was no real file management. You just uploaded an image and it would get dumped somewhere on Squarespace's servers. You had no real way to organize and categorize things. It's the equivalent of putting all your files on the desktop. So after years of adding things on my website, I just had a huge list of files thrown about. Finally, a couple of months ago, Squarespace added an asset management option where we can create folders and move files around, but trying to clean things up after years of having loose files around is a huge undertaking. With Wix, I had none of these issues. They have the typical organization tools you would expect. You can create folders and subfolders, so everything stays organized. So from day one, I had a very clean and organized structure where I can easily find things. On top of that, it looks like Squarespace's asset management system is only used for images, so it doesn't include zip files or anything else for that matter, which is not the case at all with Wix. I can easily access and organize everything: images, archives, and videos. Another thing I like with Wix is the whole content management system. You can basically create databases where all the details of certain type of pages are stored. Let's say, for example, that we have a recipes section on our website. We would first create a database with all the typical things we would have in a recipe, like ingredients, instructions, images, etc. Then we would design how the page looks, and after that we just connect what parts of the database connects to which part of the website. And that's it. All the pages are done automatically. We want to make a change in one of the recipes, we just go to the database and change the text. We want to add a recipe, just add a new recipe in the database and the page is automatically created for us. Simple and fast. And most importantly, we can export these databases as CSVs, so we can have them as backups or use them to edit the content and import it back to Wix. But that's not all. Another thing that comes to mind is the really good support. Squarespace is also known for its support, but I have to say that Wix's is a lot better. They have a faster response time in chat, and if you want to talk to someone, you can actually do that. The phone line is not hidden behind a gazillion links. You just ask them to call you, and usually within a few minutes, you have someone to talk to, even on the weekends. I could go on and on with Wix's feature set. They basically have a really mature platform that covers pretty much anything a small business might want. You don't have to upgrade to a bigger plan if you want a specific feature, you don't have to manage your very limited resources, and so on and so forth. Everything is included in one affordable package. Of course, that doesn't mean that everything is perfect with Wix. They do have their fair share of issues, but I knew about them from the first minute I started evaluating the service. I just decided that I'm willing to disregard them because everything else they offer is really good. But let's cover these too. From a technical standpoint, I think Squarespace has the better system. From what I understand, Wix is built on JavaScript, and it shows. Working with it is definitely slower than Squarespace. In Squarespace, things are snappy. You think of something, and you can do it the very next second. With Wix, you need to be a little bit more patient. There's always this slight delay, even with very simple websites. Just to be clear, that's not when you're editing your content. It's mostly when creating your layouts or when switching between views. For example, when going from the dashboard view to the editor, or when switching between the editor and the preview mode. In these cases, things will take a while. Currently, it's not to the point where I find it annoying, but it's something you should be aware of. Thankfully, once you've built the design of your website, you don't have to deal with these views at all. You'll be mostly working on the dashboard view, adding products to your pages, or adding things in the content management system. Things can be slow there too, but it's manageable. Unfortunately, this is not only visible on the back end. Users will experience slowness too. Wix websites overall feel a little bit unresponsive. You click on something and you have to wait for a second until something happens. It's only going to be for a second or even less, but it's long enough where you start wondering, did I actually click on the link? If you go through Wix's websites, you will notice that immediately. My website has this issue, and any other Wix website I tried has this issue too. Squarespace websites, on the other hand, don't have that. They are fast. Again, it's nothing so extreme that people will give up and close your website, but you can feel the difference. The other area where Squarespace has the upper hand is when building responsive pages. No matter how you resize things, a Squarespace page will change accordingly. That's not the case with Wix. While they do have responsive elements, you won't manage to get a fully responsive website. Once you resize your window to a really small width, you will reach a point where the content won't reflow. They have a phone-friendly view, so it's not like users will not be able to see your content, but there are a lot more sizes between big desktop screens and phones. Again, it's not the end of the world, but in the year 2023, things should have been better in that regard. To address these issues, Wix has built Editor X, but that's another platform entirely. You cannot use Editor X pages on your Wix website. You can easily move your Wix website to Editor X, but the pricing and feature set is going to be completely different. There's also the issue of some heavy upselling happening throughout your dashboard or when you purchase a plan. For example, they will have a button that is trying to upgrade you to a bigger plan, or they will have a link where you can purchase something extra like a Google business email. It's not unique to Wix though. Squarespace started doing this too, but I think it's a little bit more aggressive on Wix's side. Aside from these issues, I'm happy with what Wix has to offer. I'm willing to disregard them because of the incredible feature set and the amazing value for money. And from what I've seen throughout the years, they're constantly improving the platform. So I'm hopeful that some of these problems will be resolved. Will they be able to improve the speed issues, especially knowing that it's all built in Java? I'm not so sure. But my approach will be to wait for a year or so and then see how things are going. I will either switch to Editor X or wait until my 2-year contract has expired and switch to another platform. I'm already evaluating some other exciting new CMS systems, and I'm planning to cover those in future videos, so keep an eye on that too. And of course, there's always WordPress. I used to have a WordPress site, but I absolutely hated the maintenance and security issues, so I'm not looking forward to having to deal with that. Never say never though, maybe WordPress is the solution after all. Anyway, I think that's about it from my side. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.